Hello again, this is Travis Spangler with UFC, and today we're going to talk about how we capture, store, and energize your company with Microsoft SharePoint. A brief overview of what we're going to experience today is we're going to talk about the whole capture, store, and energize concept. We're going to talk about our capturing process and what that is and what that means. We're going to learn about a system called Quillix, which is what we use to do our capture, store, and energizing. And then we'll have a demo of our user experience with our product. We'll talk about some different configuration and options that we'll have, and then we'll just talk about how you can get a hold of us if we can ever help you with anything. So the whole concept of capture, store, and energize. Well, what we do as a company is we help you capture documents, whether that be through paper or faxes or emails, and then we let you store them and help you store them in a specific spot so that you can reference them at a later time. And then what that does by capturing those documents and storing them for future use is it energizes your company and creates endless bounds of opportunities for your organization. Our document capture process, which you may have seen before, is just 5 basic steps. Now the first step is where we capture the documents, and this is usually done by scanning or faxing a document, and it's also possible to do this by uploading a file from your computer. The second step is classifying the document, and this is where we set up the document to make sure pages are allocated sufficiently. The third step then is indexing the document, and this is where we assign values to the documents that help us reference them at a later time, and sometimes we call that tagging. The fourth step is verifying the document, and this is where we make sure the assigned values from step 3, those tagged values, are accurate. And then the fifth step is archiving the document, and this is where we place the document in its final storage system, like SharePoint, which is what we're going to discuss today. So what is Quillix? Well, Quillix is what we call our document capture system. This is how we turn those papers or those emails or those faxes into a digital document that gets stored. It's a distributed system, meaning that anybody, anywhere, whether they're in the same building or they work remotely, can use the system. It's web-based, meaning that anybody that has access to the internet can use the system as well. And then lastly, it's workflow-driven, which means it follows whatever process your business demands. It's a very business process-oriented software. To point number 2 there, we manage documents coming into your company via paper, email, and faxes. And then what we do, going on to the third point, is we make it easy to integrate with other systems used in your business, such as SharePoint. Now this is a quick example of a workflow-driven interface. And as you see down here below, we can see where we start getting the document, and then it goes into a queue where we assign values to it, and then we release it to SharePoint, and then that's the end of it, and that's where you see the stop. So you'll see here, and we're not going to go into too much detail on this today, but you can see how Quillix makes it very easy to understand what happens to a document from start to stop. So let's talk about the user perspective. And I'm actually going to show you a demo here on my machine. And here's what the Quillix interface looks like. And you can see we have different tabs here at the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like we're scanning in a document. And instead what I'm going to do is import a document. You can see automatically the software is on the web and it picks up any scanners that I have attached to it. So I'm going to do a file import, which will be kind of like a scanning. And we're just going to do an appraisal. We're going to upload an appraisal document. You'll see here that I can preview the document and I can see the different pages and make sure that everything is captured. And when I'm ready, I'm going to click our little select button here and I'm going to release it. Now if you remember what happens after we release the document, so that was the start, we have to provide indexing values. And what that will tell us, these values that we assign to it will tell us how we reference it later. So let's pretend that this happens today, and we assign it the borrower name, and we do an appraisal amount, and we'll just pick a number today, which is 10,000. Then once we complete this, this is really the end of all of our document capture process. So you see how easy the user experience was. Once again, I scanned the document, I'm going to assign these values to it, and then I'm going to hit complete. And when I hit complete, we're going to be able to refresh our SharePoint, go into our SharePoint system, and see that document there. So what we will do is we'll go look at appraisals, and we'll just keep watching it here, and there it is. There you saw it. Once I refreshed it, we're able now to pull up the system in the storage system of SharePoint. So it's very, very easy, and a user's experience happens here in our Quillix web environment. So simple by using the Capture tab, the Indexing tab, and then once they release a document, it ends up in SharePoint where we can all reference it at a later time. So that's the interface of Quillix. So let me get back to my presentation here. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to talk about specifically was how we connect to SharePoint. Our Quillix works very nicely with both the corporate and the Office 365 versions of SharePoint. And if you're confused by what those mean, we won't go into detail today, but there are two major versions of SharePoint called corporate and then an Office 365, which is a very remote version of it, and both of them are compatible with our SharePoint connector. It's very, very easy to configure things such as the document location and library, what we name the document. We can also map or tag indexes to that document so that we can reference things at a later time. And if you remember in my demo, I did the appraisal date, the borrower name, and the borrower the amount. And those are the different indexes that we would map and store into SharePoint. And as you noticed, we can be up and running in just a matter of minutes. Well, that's all I'm going to show you today is how easy it is to integrate Quillix, our document capture system, with SharePoint, which is our storage system for documents, so that we can reference those documents at a later time. It's very easy, it's very simple, and it's very cost efficient for organizations. So if you would like to talk to me about this, we can talk about what other opportunities you have in your organization, and we can discuss your business process so that we can make this work for you. You can call me or email me with the information that you see below, and I look forward to talking to you. Thank you.